Hey guys, welcome back. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Got a slasher film for you today, and that is 1981's The Burning. Of course, this film came out during the heyday of the slasher craze. You had Friday the 13th, Halloween. This film stands up, I think, to all those early films, and it's surprising that it didn't, the Cropsey character and legend didn't take off like Friday the 13th and Jason, because the film is just as good, if not better, than the original Friday the 13th. It has two of the most iconic kills in history. Of course, the Raft Massacre, which we all know and love. But I think the better kill in this is the scene with the hedge clippers, where the guy gets picked up by the hedge clippers and driven into a tree. That's a fantastic, fantastic kill. Uh, but yeah, there's some pretty mean-spirited kills in this. It's a classic, no doubt about it. It's one of the top slasher films of all time. Now, this Arrow release, I also have the Scream Factory release, which I'll do a quick comparison of. I don't know why I don't have the cover for this, but I love the artwork on the Scream Factory release. This Arrow release ported over quite a bit of the features from the Scream Factory release, but it also has some features unique to this release. So the Blu-ray here, there's your internal artwork. The Cropsey legend has been around for a long time in the New York area, and it was the storyline, interestingly enough, was before and predated Friday the 13th. Harvey and Bob Weinstein, this was their first big release from Miramax, were a couple of Buffalo and New York characters, promoters that wanted to get into movie making, and they came up with the 5-page story of the Cropsey legend, or basically a storyline, a kind of an alternative version of that legend, along with the director Tony Matham, I believe is his name, Tony Maylam, and it just missed, I guess, from a timing standpoint. It wasn't able to be put into production until after Friday the 13th. But it's an excellent film. If you don't have a copy of this, you got to do yourself a favor and get it. So let me do a quick comparison of these two releases. First of all, picture quality. The picture quality, I believe, is a little bit better on the Arrow release. As far as the lighting, I think this version is a little darker than the Arrow. I think the contrast is slightly better, but it's almost nitpicky. I mean, if you have this release, I'm not sure that I would upgrade it just for PQ, but personally, I think the Arrow release is better picture quality. The soundtrack is a 2.0 mono on both. Now, from a special features standpoint, we've got an audio commentary with the director Tony Maylam and critic Alan Jones. That's a port over from Scream Factory. There's also an audio commentary with the stars Shelley Bruce and Bonnie Dorosky. That's a port over as well. And then a brand new audio commentary with the Hysteria Continues podcast crew. So that is a new feature on this that you don't get with the old Scream Factory release. The other thing you don't get with the Scream Factory release that's new is a 12-minute, very interesting interview with Tom Savini. And he goes through and shows you how he did the special effects for not only the makeup for Cropsey, but a number of the kills, which I think is, I mean, it's 12 minutes. It's probably the highlight of the special features, I think. Additionally, you've got an interview with the editor, Jack Shoulder, which is a carryover from the Scream Factory release. An interview with Lou David, the actor that played Cropsey. That's a port over from the Scream Factory release. And then an interview with Lee Ayres. It also has unique to this release that's not on the Scream Factory is Rick Wakeman, who did the Rick Wakeman from the band Yes did the synthesizer score for this, and it's an interesting 10-12 minute discussion with his first introduction to Harvey Weinstein and how they kind of dumbed down the budget for the music to kind of get this thing finished, and he ended up just doing basically just a keyboard score. Originally it was intended to be like a full orchestra, but they didn't have the money for it. Then you've got behind the scene footage, that's about 7 minutes. So I think as well as you get a booklet. So at the end of the day, I think most of you probably have, I would think you have, a copy of The Burning, and you probably have this edition. I think it's worth the upgrade, honestly. I think the Arrow's a better, superior release. And, I mean, for such an iconic slasher film as The Burning, double dipping, in my opinion, is a no-brainer. So I would highly recommend, if you don't have the Arrow release of The Burning, whether it's the Steelbook or this edition, do yourself a favor and pick it up. So that'll do it. That'll wrap up my review of The Burning, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.